Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Know It Alls Talk Ball podcast. Here I am again with Jason Sweet Feet Smeets joining Juan Silky Smooth Sierra for another football couch lounge session. What are we talking about today, Jason?
We are talking about the Eredivisie. Nothing really in particular with the Eredivisie. Just going to have a little chat about maybe the title race, what's going on up there, and what's going on down there. Groningen.
And I mean, this is kind of a thank you episode to all the people that clicked our Fixing Groningen. That episode kind of blew up. It's our biggest one so far.
So I think we're on about maybe 700-ish views, which is, it doesn't sound like a lot, but we're very grateful for those kind of numbers.
It
makes us feel
And we
really
also had
good.
a few comments in there about people who enjoy the content. So this one is all for you guys out there, Eredivisie fans, looking for something in English, but you can't find it.
Because that's one thing that I've realized is that the amount of English content for Eredivisie, or just content in general, is severely lacking. So we're here to fill that gap in the market. So I hope you guys click on this one as well.
So let's start at the top of the Eredivisie, right, where the table currently looks a little something like this. Feyenoord are top of the league on amazing form with 61 points. Fierce rivals Ajax are second, 6 points behind on 55. And the battle for that second place spot, which is a spot in European competition, and the only other spot that could get you Champions League. You get into the playoffs in the third qualifying round, if I'm not mistaken. That second place spot is pretty tight between PSV, AZ Alkmaar, and Ajax, with PSV and Alkmaar only 2 points behind Ajax on 53. So let's start with the league leaders, Jason. What have you made of the team from Rotterdam this season?
I mean, Feyenoord have been stunning. There's no other way to put it. The signings that they've made are simply quite extraordinary. I mean, they had a big exodus over the summer. Over the summer. What am I saying? They lost the likes of Malacia and obviously Sinistera as well.
Yeah, two huge players for them last season. Yeah.
Huge players. But they've brought in a couple of guys that have done really, really well. They've got Dilrosun.
Yeah, who they signed from Hertha Berlin.
From Hertha, he's chipped in, I think, with 5 goals, 5 assists in the Eredivisie, which, doesn't sound like you're setting the world alight, but that's quite a lot. And then also I want to highlight David Hanko, centre back. Yeah. They signed him from Slavia Prague for 6 million.
He's been great.
You want to take a crack at his transfer value now after just one season at the club?
I mean, he must be young, because that's one thing about this Feyenoord side. It's very young. Yeah. I think they have, after Groningen, I think they're maybe the third youngest or second youngest squad in the whole league. And Groningen is fighting for relegation, and this one is gonna win the league most likely. I assume that now he's probably gonna go for 25 million.
He's at 20 million transfer value, which means he'll probably go for something around 25, especially if they win the league. But those signings, along with the way that Arne Slot has been able to come in and just work his magic. I've also been reading that they have one of the highest percentage of turning the ball over in the opponent's half and then converting those chances into shots, into goals. So that high press has been a huge part of their game. They're obviously doing amazingly, and I think it's their season to lose from here.
I agree, and it's huge. And I think if you're not really aware with Dutch football, I think everybody knows the Ajax, the PSV, and the Feyenoord from Rotterdam, right? But you'd be surprised that actually Feyenoord haven't been that successful in this century. This would be only their second league win in the century. The last one was in 16-17. So compared to Ajax and PSV, who have had long periods of success during the 21st century, this would be a huge pickup for the club. And also just because they really have, like you said, been clicking on their Arne Slot. They signed him from Alkmaar. Well, technically got fired from AZ because he had kind of agreed to sign for Feyenoord. But and he's been great. I think, in my opinion, behind Ten Hag, He's the best Dutch coach there available.
I mean, we're the Netherlands is chipping in with some really promising coaches at the moment. And I'm telling you, it's those bald heads. It's those bald heads, you know.
Arne Slot, just the bald man.
Yeah.
Just like Pep, just like Erik ten Hag.
But the other bald man, George, what's his name? George Schroeder,
Alfred Schroeder.
Alfred Schroeder. Yeah. From Ajax, yeah. I mean, didn't last very long in the job.
No, he did not. I mean, that is a good way to transition into our next team, since we kind of wrapped up there with Feyenoord. We both think they're going to win the league. I think that the team's just too good.
Yeah,
they're playing way too well.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is with I think the season started, and this will sort of transition us into the Ajax and PSV talk a little bit. The season started, and we had Ajax, PSV, and they started out playing really attractive football. And I think a lot of people thought that this was going to be another Ajax PSV run for the title.
And maybe just an Ajax walkover again.
Exactly,
like it's been while Ten Hag was there.
Exactly, yeah. I think a lot of people expected it to go that way, but Feyenoord did a really good job of sticking in there with good results, not necessarily setting the world alight in those early days. And then they've eventually sort of built on that to a point where they're playing really attractive football now.
And not just that, but they've only lost once this season. And that was in September against PSV in a game that they lost 4-3 in Eindhoven. So it's not like they've been easily the best, maybe not the most flashy team, because when you compare it to Ajax have scored 72 goals compared to Feyenoord's 59. But consistent, which that's what Ajax wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, I saw something as well that I think that this Eredivisie league is overall one of the strongest that we've seen in a long time in terms of top to bottom. The mid-table teams, even some of the lower-end teams, have done a really good job of taking points off those mainstays at the top. I saw something out there that after 22 games, the leaders of the league had the lowest points tally since the 13-14 season.
Wow.
The lower teams have really taken a lot of points off those top guys. And it really speaks to how good this league is at the moment, top to bottom. And it really deserves a lot more respect in terms of
I agree. I mean, we saw it last season. Feyenoord made a Conference League final, which they unfortunately lost to Roma. Vitesse also made it to the quarterfinals of the Conference League. So, and this season Feyenoord are killing it in the Europa League.
And you've got Alkmaar in the Conference League. Just
League,
got past Lazio.
Yeah, who would have thought, right?
That's huge, yeah.
So, the Dutch league is definitely picking it up, and I think it's great to see, because you can tell that, I've gone to watch, we both went to watch Feyenoord this season, and you could tell that they are just a very good cohesive team, and, not flashy, but consistent, and now they're 6 points ahead, and with almost one hand in the title, with only 8 games to go.
Yeah, and what do you make of that second, third, fourth battle?
So I think if you would have asked me in January with the way the league was going, I would have probably still picked PSV to go second, just because losing Gakpo was probably expected.
Yeah.
I think losing Madueke was a pretty big mistake. Losing both and then not really bringing in 2 replacements. I mean, they did bring in Thorgan Hazard, and he's already scored, but it's also like Thorgan Hazard is not going to give you, like, Cody Gakpo was on 30, I think he had played 17 games and he was on 30 goal involvements or something like that.
He was having an absolutely amazing season, and that's part of the reason why Liverpool came in for him. And
I thought he went for cheap, in my opinion. Only 40 million for a player on that kind of form.
Yeah, and I think as well, it's kind of why did PSV make that decision when I think it was the first time in a little while that they really had a team to push Ajax with Simons, with Madueke, with Gakpo. It was and they were playing some really good football. I mean, they beat Arsenal.
Yeah, they were like one of
the Europa League.
Few teams to beat them during that crazy run. I think they hadn't lost in the Prem, but PSV was sticking out still.
Exactly. So I think, it just didn't make any sense to. I think if your PSV directors, you do everything to hang on to Gakpo until the end of the season. And
Sorry about
then, yeah, that's
Big tractor, the
something
PSV
going
tractor.
on. But yeah, you do everything to hang on to them just to the end of the season, and then yeah, it was kind of obvious that he was going to go.
Yeah, he was having a great season, and I think not replacing him. It also is a team that's still a little bit inexperienced. It's young for a head coach who's in his first job in management, and I think he's done really well to have PSV here. But I think that they are going to fall short. I'll probably give it to Ajax to finish second. Like they did start that historic run, 6 games in a row, won in the Eredivisie. No Ajax coach had done that. Now it's been broken by John Heitinga, who won his first 7 in a row. So that record's been broken twice. And he was on really good form until they lost the big one to Feyenoord.
Yeah, they did. And what a game.
What a game of football.
Yeah,
it was great.
It was really
Feyenoord's first win in Amsterdam since 2005.
Yeah.
That is huge.
Huge. I think the guy who scored the winner, I think, was 3 or 4 years old when the last time they won at Ajax.
He's 23 now, so yeah, he might have been 5, something like that.
But shall we move it down? Because I mean, then you've got a lot of the mid-table, which honestly, we're interested in it, but we want to keep this a little bit shorter. So we were going to go down to the bottom
battle.
The relegation battle, and that really does interest us because we have our team in there, FC Groningen, who I think, let's just start at FC Groningen. I think they're doomed to go down at this stage.
I disagree.
Oh,
tell
me.
I think it looks terrible right now. It looks so bad, right? 17 points. They're 17th, which is direct relegation. 17 points, 4 away from FC Emmen, who managed to draw a lot of games. Like they don't win a lot. They have the same amount of wins as Groningen, but they draw a lot of games. And then on top of, and then to safety, so not even playing the relegation, in 15th place Excelsior, they're 6 points ahead. And Excelsior have only drawn twice, but they've somehow won 7 times this season, even though they're 15th. But, right, as I said, it looks very gloom and doom for Groningen. I think the team is just better than the other ones. Maybe they don't play to it, but when you're really, because now 8 games to go, now it's squeaky bum time now.
They need to win like immediately. They have to. But you know, one thing that I was saying to you just before we came on the podcast, that Groningen, in terms of their stats, have not underperformed. It's not like you could look at them, especially in the games that I've seen from them. You know, the ones that I went to, it's some of the worst football I've seen in a while.
It hasn't been pretty, no. But we would say we went to watch a game against Heerenveen, the Northern Derby, and I would have said like Groningen. The second half was awful from both sides because it was already 2-0. It was a dead game. But the first half, Groningen definitely played better. It was just 2 moments of just chaos and mistakes.
And missed opportunity at the other side.
Missed opportunities. They hit the crossbar. Like it was a very close game, which they could have gone ahead. And I just think that Ricardo Pepi, I think he scored 3 goals now for the U.S. national team. He's been recalled up and he's banging on form. And genuinely, from the 4 teams I mentioned, Ricardo Pepi is the best player in all 4 of those teams.
Yeah, but you can't win. You can't save yourself from relegation with one player. And I think that's really, I mean, they have, so there's only one team in the league that has a worse expected goal difference than them, and that is Excelsior, who are in fact out of the relegation zone at the moment. So you know, you definitely need a little bit of luck, but yeah, it's. I mean, Cambour has a minus 15 expected goal difference. Groningen is at minus 21. Sorry. And then you got Emmen in 16th, and they've only got a minus 7.9 expected goal difference. So, I mean, maybe those stats are a little bit misleading, but the times that I've seen Groningen play this year, it's been quite disappointing.
I think the only thing that I would give them a chance, because I agree with everything you said. They've been not good to watch. Like, they just haven't looked good. Like, they look like a relegation team. I think the run is way easier than the other teams. They only have to play Ajax. In terms of big teams, they only have to play Ajax at home, which you never know. It's also the second last game of the season, so you know they'd be up for it. Then you have Emmen, who still have to play Ajax away, Heerenveen away, Twente at home, AZ away, and Feyenoord at home. So they have an extremely tricky run. And Excelsior still have to go to PSV and play Feyenoord at home. And Cambuur is just the worst team in the league, I think. They're worse than Groningen. But
Yeah.
I do give them just a chance. Like, I think that they'll do it. I think that they could leapfrog Emmen. I'm not saying they'll be completely safe, but I think they could get the playoff spot and beat whoever comes up from second division.
Yeah, I think if they make that playoff spot, they probably will stay in. But, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. They definitely can still do it. One win, and they're right there, you know? But say we go into this weekend and, you know, Emmen wins and Groningen loses again, I'd say it's over.
Yeah, I mean, if Emmen, that's a big one. If Emmen keeps because Cambuur is basically the other team that I think is like pretty safe to go down along with Groningen, it seems, right? But if Emmen and Excelsior have to keep dropping points, like you said, and thankfully all these teams suck. That's why they're here, so they probably will drop points.
Yeah,
it's just a matter of not picking up the ones that they shouldn't.
Yeah, exactly. But I think we got to wrap this up a little bit now. Should we finish with a top 3, bottom 3 prediction?
Okay, let's do it. My top 3, let's go with PSV. I think Alkmaar, about AZ, we didn't really talk a lot about AZ. They're a good team, but I think PSV will just beat them to it. Actually, I'm going to switch that. I think AZ will do it. I just think their coach is better. Pascal Jensen is very good. So we're going to go AZ, then we'll go with Ajax in second place, and then Feyenoord to win the league.
Yeah, I'm going to start at the top. I'm going to go Feyenoord to win the league. And then I'm going to go second place.
It's pretty tight.
Do Ajax still play PSV?
Yes, I think they do.
Okay, I'm going to go PSV second. AZ third.
Ajax out?
Wow,
that
is,
would be huge.
This is a long shot.
That would be huge.
I think they're going to react badly to that Feyenoord loss. And yeah, we'll see what happens. That's a big call though, but I'm going for it.
All right, let's move to the bottom.
Yeah.
What do you think?
This is going to disappoint you, but I think I'm actually going to stick with exactly the way it is now. I think Emmen in 16th, Groningen in 17th, Cambuur in 18th. And what is going on outside?
I think the Groningen fans are listening to you and they're about to throw a brick through my window. I'm going to flip-flop Emmen and Groningen. I think Groningen will just survive. Like, that's the fan in me talking. Hopefully they do it. But that has done it for our little Eredivisie roundup. We hope you guys have enjoyed it. Let us know who you think is going to win the Eredivisie, who's going to go down. Leave a like, share with all your friends, and we'll see you again on this couch soon.